how should a country like India approach AI?
अगर आपको 20-30 बिलियन डॉलर लगाने हैं to build an LLM, who can do it? Do we as a country need it? Answer is yes. We ourselves have invested 1,000 crores across 54 deep tech and AI startups, but it is not $50 billion.
Padma Shri awardee and known as the father of India's startup ecosystem. Founder of the Info Edge Group, Naukri.com, Shiksha, Jeevansathi and 99 Acres. Strategic investor in hundreds of startups including Zomato and Policybazaar. And co-founder of Ashoka University, Sanjeev Bikhchandani.
When I was finishing school, I qualified for IIT. That had been my dream. And when I went for the counseling and I was done a medical test, I was told I was partially colorblind. तो मुझे ये एहसास हुआ कि I don't want to be an engineer. I want to be an IITian. I need the brand. I'm looking for the chapa.
If your kids came to you, share an idea of a startup, hypothetically, what kind of questions will you ask?
But there are questions that I ask the other founders about the business. My daughter is doing her own startup. She has consistently refused funding. She's saying, I don't want my investors sitting at the dining table every day.
When you have been shortlisting ideas, which are some top anti-portfolio?
In the early stage, we said no to Lenscart, we said no to Flipkart, we said no to Ola, we said no to a whole bunch of other people. We said no to Sappi twice. I said no to Mitra twice. They went out to succeed big time. There is a bias to it, telling bites on ads.
How were you able to get some ideas of the businesses you started, and what was the customer insight?
They would all flip to the magazine from the back because there were 35 to 40 pages of appointment ads at the back of Business India in those days. मेरे को एक conclusion निकल गया. Jobs are a high interest category of information.
How important is to name it right?
When you're first mover, it's important that your name communicates what you're about. The name must communicate what it's about. B, it must be easy to remember. It must be unique. There's some sort of zing and coolness about it. Zomato.
What are some basic principles you use to filter when people are pitching you ideas?
We look at several things. Quality of founder and key commitment, their capabilities, their integrity. Are they solving an unsolved problem? If there are 20 people doing the same thing, there is no reason why you should succeed more than the others.
Rakesh Jhunjhunwala holding Titan for the longest time.
Gee. He told me if you've hit upon a truly great company, the maximum returns are in holding forever, like I've done at Titan. Some of the, I think the smartest things we've done in Zomato and Policybazaar, nothing dramatic, just waiting.
Very funny ad of Naukri. They had put a big peanut and a big lollipop. And I've always been intrigued by the marketing which Naukri has done. The famous Sadu campaign. What was the thought behind taking fun as the
10x creatives you get once in 10 years or 20 years.
Sadu. H for Hitler, A for arrogant, R for I for idiot. That's right.
तीन चीजें. Memorable, humorous, that are emotional. 90% of people don't switch jobs for more salary, or for professional growth, or for greater challenges. They begin their job search because.
Can you explain what is vertical AI? What was your learning while teaching? हमें आपसे बड़ी इंस्पिरेशन मिल रही है. आपकी इंस्पिरेशन कहाँ से आती है?
मैं एक और कहानी सुनाऊंगा. So 87 में
Welcome to the Dilse Omni Talks, Sanjeev. I was reading the newspaper today after a long time and...
अब बार पढ़ना छोड़ दिया है. मैंने भी छोड़ दिया.
अच्छा.
I get most of my news on the small screen.
अच्छा. So what I understand is your initial ideas were coming from newspapers to disrupt the newspaper business.
Not to disrupt, I would say, but it ended up getting disrupted, but that was not our aim.
Yeah. So one thing strangely I observed, and it was down memory lane, कि Monday को आता था Education Times, Wednesday को आता था Ascent, which was the jobs, and Friday को आता था Property Times.
Okay.
Now what has happened is वो supplements हो गए हैं गायब, and they have become single page thing. So when you reflect back on your journey, is newspaper a friend or a foe?
No, newspaper is definitely a friend. Do we compete for the same budget? Answer is yes. But, but it's fine. The market has also grown. So there's room for everybody in the market.
Yeah. So from newspaper, if you could share how were you able to get some ideas of the businesses you started, and what was the customer insight which you keep talking about you got in?
So I was in my last job in 1989-90 in a company called HMM. It was a consumer marketing company, and it had brands like Horlicks, Boost, Brilltree, Eno, a couple others. And I was in the marketing team. I was working on the brand Horlicks, which was the company's largest and flagship brand. And the junior marketing team, which was included me, used to sit in an open hall. And therefore, you could see what each person was doing, and you could hear what they were saying on the phone, because us zamane mein there were no mobile phones, there were only landlines.
Yes.
And so I observed something quite trivial, seemingly, but actually interesting. I observed जब ऑफिस की बिजनेस इंडिया मैगजीन की कॉपी आती थी, when that would come, it would go from desk to desk. You know, somebody would leaf through it, read it, after an hour or so, pass it on. Right? I used to observe that invariably my colleagues, and my colleagues were all from the IIMs and FMS and Bajaj and the best business schools. Maybe there were 7, 8 of us, 9 of us in the hall. They would all flip to the magazine from the back.
अच्छा उल्टा पढ़ते हैं.
Because there were 35 to 40 pages of appointment ads at the back of Business India in those days.
Okay.
It was one of the leading appointment ad mediums for professional managers. Now, these are people working in a multinational. These are people who, are actually paid quite well. They're handling good brands. And ये 1890 की बात है, pre-liberalization, Gurgaon did not exist, Noida had barely existed. If you wanted to work in FMCG and you wanted an MNC and you wanted marketing, not sales, which means head office Delhi,
Yes.
then there were only 2 companies in Delhi at that time. H&M and Nestle.
Okay.
And observed behavior was that they would not hire from each other.
Okay. So it was unsaid rule.
अब unsaid था नहीं था, but it was almost nobody had switched from one place to the other.
Okay.
So there must have been some sort of handshake agreement that हम आपके लोग नहीं लेंगे, आप हमारे लोग मत लीजिए. तो अगर आपको FMCG चाहिए, MNC चाहिए, दिल्ली head office चाहिए, right? You probably are in the best job you can be. Right? So it's not as if they were going to switch. This company also paid reasonably well. It had good brands.
Yes.
Prestige tha market mein. Right? So you were in a good place and you're not going to switch. So these people are not looking for jobs. Nevertheless, they would look at jobs.
Okay.
Right? And they would then begin to discuss, bhai ye job ja rahi hai is company, what do you think? And then they start complaining, bhai hamari tankha itni kam, actually kam nahi thi. Okay, but it is a birthright of every person to complain about his job, right? So, or her job, right? And that's how it was. And I found it interesting. So, मेरे को एक conclusion निकल गया कि jobs are a high interest category of information.
Okay.
लोग jobs नौकरियों की ad देखेंगे और फिर उसको discuss करेंगे, चाहे वो apply करें ना करें.
हाँ.
Yeah, of course, if you really are happy and you really want to move up and move forward, then you will apply also. That is the first observation. The second thing was, because it was an open hall, you could hear each other, what they were speaking on the phone, and you could see each other. And this is a good talent pool of 7, 8, 9 people, MBAs from the best business schools, and good work experience, good brands, good company. This is an excellent talent pool for headhunters to call up and try and recruit from.
Yes.
So invariably, 1 or 2 or 3 phone calls would come through the week to try and headhunt one or the other of my colleagues. And I could hear the conversation.
अच्छा.
One side.
क्योंकि लैंडलाइन पे आता है.
Yeah, one side. There were no mobile phones in 1990. And people would discuss, they put the phone down, they announce, "Bhai, ye Naukri ki ye mere ko abhi phone call aaya." Right? And they feel good also. I got a phone call. Of course, they would not go because they were actually quite settled in their jobs. So, but each time it was a different headhunter with a different job in a different company.
Yes.
From there, I figured that देखिए जो जो प्रिंट में जो एड्स आती हैं, that's the tip of the iceberg.
Yes.
Maybe 5-10% of the market. There's a much larger market below the surface, which is serviced by headhunters, recruiters, direct applications, employee referrals, जो भी है. So it's a highly fragmented, and there are hundreds of headhunters with servicing thousands of companies with tens of thousands of jobs. Right? मेरे को वो एहसास हो गया by 1990.
Inefficiencies बहुत हैं इसमें.
फ्रैगमेंटेड मार्केट है, सब लोग फाइट मार रहे हैं, एंड जो प्रिंट में आता है इस टिप ऑफ द आइसबर्ग. सो एंड जॉब्स आर हाई इंटरेस्ट कैटेगरी फॉर इन्वेस्टमेंट. सो बाय 1990 आई हैड फिगर्ड कि this out. But see, I was going to be an entrepreneur. I had made up my mind, and you know, when you're thinking of doing a business, when you're slightly imaginative, you get 5 ideas a day.
Yes.
कोई महीने में 100 आइडिया आ जाते हैं. And for 3 days, they all look good, each of them.
इसका नहीं आगे बढ़ो.
You know, but then after 3 days, you say, not this, right? So maybe, you know, if you have 1,000 ideas over say 6 months, you're lucky if you execute one,
Yes.
right? And you become an entrepreneur. ठीक है. So I got this insight कि इसमें कुछ है. There is some consumer behavior, user behavior, human behavior I have seen. It tells me the jobs are a high interest category of information. There's some market structuring, market information I've got, which is hundreds of headhunters, thousands of companies, tens of thousands of jobs, highly fragmented. So if somebody were to aggregate this information and keep it live and current in one place, it would be a powerful product. But there was in 1990, there was no way of doing that.
Yes.
And there was no way of monetizing that. So it became one of the file and forget kind of insights. Right? So I started 2 small businesses with a friend. One was a trademark search service, and the other was a salary survey business. Both were modestly successful. Moderately, अगर खर्चे कम रखो, you can manage, right? And that was the kind of business we started from the servant quarter at home. Right, second-hand furniture. थोड़ा सा पैसा कमाया तो एक second-hand computer भी ले लिया. फिर सेकेंड हैंड एयर कंडीशनर ले लिया. तो धीरे धीरे करते गए हम. राइट. पहले 3 साल हम तनख्वाह नहीं ले पाए. आई यूज्ड टू टीच ऑन वीकेंड्स एट वेरियस बिजनेस स्कूल इन एंड अराउंड दिल्ली टू अर्न सम मनी. Managed, got by. 93, the government of India, the Department of Telecom, DOT, issued a large ad in, I think, TOI or HT. Saying that we are launching something called a video text service, video text, VIDEOTEX service, which is they would in collaboration with French Telecom. They said worked in Paris, so there would be a server in one telephone exchange. There would be 50 public access terminals around the city. There would be information and databases on this server, and public would go and search that information and databases for a fee. ठीक है. So the DOT advertised for private information providers, PIPs.
Okay.
Companies and businesses that would own and maintain this data and these databases. Okay? And the DOT would not charge rent from these companies for hosting the data. Neither would they pay a fee.
Okay.
It was pure revenue share. कि 50-50 revenue share हुआ, तो you price your database and you sell a search for access or half or you sell time, whatever, and उसका आधा सरकार रखेगी, DOT रखेगा, आधा आप लेंगे. Simple arrangement. They were inviting applications. So that's when I picked this old inside out and said, we will do jobs. And I said, we'll take jobs from around all over, these people around the country, and put it on. And these didn't have alag bhi jobs आएंगे directly from companies. And we will charge 50 rupees for somebody in the public to come and search the database.
Okay.
उसका 25 रुपये सरकार रखेगी, 25 हम रखेंगे. ठीक है. तो अगर दिन की 100 सर्च हो गए तो 2500 रुपये हो गए दिन के. हमारा शेयर, which looked like good money to me. It is.
And that time it was very.
75,000 rupees a month. That's very good, right? You need 3 or 4 data entry operators at the back just to input the data. And so हमने वो proposal डाला. We were called for a meeting. Okay, it was a large conference room in the STC building, State Trading Corporation building, जनपद पे. ठीक है. तो वहाँ पे DOT के लोग, the consulting, the DOT had hired TCIL Bell South, Telecommunications Consultants India Limited, to do the project. उनके लोग और 50-60 हमारे जैसे लोग सब आए थे. तो they gave presentation speech, this, that, whatever, कुछ सवाल जवाब हुआ. Okay, let's start work. And we got the thing. We were selected. So 50 लोग select हुए. So we began work. TCIL put 2 software programmers on the job for us.
अच्छा.
They said, ये आपका idea, हम implement करेंगे. We are implementation partners. So we began work. तो 6 महीने काम चलता रहा. And in those days, I had given a handwritten brief.
अच्छा.
On
requirements एक तरीके.
Navigation. What is now called navigation?
Navigation.
At that time, there was no term for it.
Yes.
पहले ये आएगा, ये दबाव ये आएगा, ये the full tree structure will come, right? Functional area classifications, locations, industry classification, सब समझने के लिए level, right? समझने किया, ठीक है. Now work began. 6 महीने we began work on it. तब तक हमारे thought काफी refine हो गए, and we had named it JobNet.
अच्छा. That was the first version.
It didn't get launched.
अच्छा.
So after 6 months, we were called for one more meeting. 50-60 लोग फिर से आ गए, and everything half done, so far, not yet launched. And they said, we have some bad news. Government has cancelled the budget, so the project is cancelled. So sorry.
So all the things lost.
But I had a big fat file of the brief and the idea and the concept. हमारा था. And we locked it up in a cabinet. Forgot about it. 96 में, I went to Pragati Maidan for one of these. It was a expo organized by CII.
Okay.
It was called IT Asia.
IT Asia. अभी
नहीं है शायद. Okay, I think it was जब .com meltdown हुआ, I think 2001 was the last one.
Okay.
If I'm not wrong, right? But it was basically 3-4 pavilions लेते थे वो, right? In all the pavilions there would be stalls of these big companies, American companies mostly. And एक आखिरी pavilion था जहाँ पे there would be 300 stalls of tiny tiny companies.
Yeah.
That was the most interesting actually. Because you see, and I used to go there every year.
आपको घर के बगल में था.
I used to go there every year. And because I had lots of time on my hands there. So मैं जाता था just to sort of nose around if you're चल के रहा. I would not visit the stalls of the big companies because A, तो you know what their products are because they're advertised anyway. B, you can't afford them. We were a tiny company, we could not afford them, so it is not relevant for me. But these small companies, they would fire my imagination.
Yes.
Because there was 300 different ideas there. कि कौन क्या कर रहा है, right? And I would get sort of interested in doing this.
इनफैक्ट मेरे साथ अभी जब ये AI मिशन वाला हुआ था, इंडिया AI वाला, तो मेरे साथ भी हुआ. पहले मैं बड़े उसमें गया तो एग्जैक्टली सेम चीज़ें, बट जो छोटे स्टॉल्स थे जहाँ पे 100 प्लस स्टॉल्स थे, वहाँ पे इट वाज रियल थिंग्स हैपनिंग.
Yeah. Okay. And so I saw one stall which said www. I had never heard the term before. I said, man, what is this? So I went to him. I said, क्या है? He said, sir, ये email है. So now, basically, he was a reseller of VSNL, right? And in those days, email and internet access came bundled together.
Yes.
There was no Hotmail, Gmail, Yahoo Mail, nothing. No webmail. Because you buy an internet connection, you get one email ID, right? So I had heard of email. I'd never seen it. And I didn't know anybody who had emails. So, and I didn't have it, obviously. So I said, अच्छा इससे क्या होता है? So he said, सर ऐसा है ना, अभी आप फैक्स बेचते हैं अमेरिका का, it costs you 85 rupees a page.
Yes.
बहुत महंगा है.
85.
Okay. So I said yes. So he says, इससे ना कुछ पैसों में हो जाता है. And you can do up and down, up and down, up and down, infinite. Of course, you can't do photos and GIFs,
Yes.
but you can do text.
Text. Like a letter.
So there used to be a TEDx that is now obsolete. There is fax, it is expensive, but this is cheaper and better, and and so on. So I said, give me a demo. So he had these modems, and he dialed something. You put on one PC, dialed something, and a key tune that I was. Okay, and he had logged into something, a mail client, and he sent a mail to another email ID, which is his own, to himself basically. So, देखो मैंने भेज दिया. I said, अच्छा, now how has the other guy received it? So it's come, he had a second PC. He logged it from there into the other account, and here देखो यहाँ पे आ गया. Now this computer could have been in the US. आप यहाँ से भेज रहे हैं. फिर मैंने जवाब दिया, यहाँ पे आ गया. I said, अच्छा, interesting. But you know what? ये product fail हो जाएगा. And I began to walk away. He said, why? ये fail क्यों होगा? I said, देखो, I don't know anybody who has email. मैं किससे बात करूँगा by email? It's like I have the only phone in the country. It's a useless instrument. I have nobody to talk to. So ये तो fail होगा. So I said, I began to walk away. He said, come back. Sir, एक और चीज़ है. This is not just email. This is internet. I said, internet. I never heard of it. He said, I said, internet क्या है? He said, sir, internet के ज़रिए you can sit in your home office on your computer. You can log in, like I just logged in for email. You can log in, and you can search information across tens of thousands of computers around the world. So I said, boss, that seems interesting. So said, show me. So he went to a site called Yahoo. Now this is all shell account access, not TCP/IP. It's a mono monitor. It looks like DOS and Unix. There are no pictures, no graphics, no fonts, nothing. Right? So this is what it used to be then, in the mid-90s. And he took me Yahoo. He said, आप search करेंगे या browse? I said, search करेंगे. So क्या search करेंगे? So I said, India search करो. So he said, he searched for India, and 50-60 sites आ गई, results आ गए. कुछ travel site, कुछ tourism site, कुछ hotel site, कुछ weather site, कुछ some various sites. Right? देखिए आ गया, you can search. So I was very impressed. So now penny dropped in my head, and I said, why can't I put jobs on this and see what happens? Right? So जो JobNet का था, we can do it here. So I said, कितने लोग हैं इंडिया में? It's over 14,000 Indian accounts in the country right now. It's like a large number to me. I said, अच्छा. I said, boss, you are charging 15,000 rupees for internet access. Let's do. I can't afford that. I'm not interested. But I want to run one of those computers that others search for information. See, sir, those are called servers. वो सारे अमेरिका में हैं. इंडिया में कोई सर्वर नहीं है. आपको यूएस जाना पड़ेगा. I said, अच्छा. So that night, I rang my brother. My brother lives in the US. He's a prof at UCLA. And I said, listen, I just encountered this thing called email and internet. He said, yeah, we use it all the time. I said, fantastic. I want to run a website. I need access to a server to run the website. And I believe all servers are in the US. So he got us a shared server for $25 a month.
Wow.
Right? And we began work, and we launched. And we used to get 29 newspapers from around the country into our office. And there's a shop called Central News Agency in Madras Hotel in Connaught Place, which gets newspapers and magazines from all over India and around the world.
अच्छा.
So I went there. हर रोज आते हैं वहाँ पे. So if you want Malayalam or Roman Delhi, they'll deliver to your house by the afternoon, by 12 noon. Right? That's the service. ठीक है? So I went there and I saw कि भाई कौन से वीक में कौन से अखबार में अपॉइंटमेंट आती हैं, and I made a full list कि Mondays को ये चाहिए, Tuesday को ये चाहिए, and I would send a peon every day to Central News Agency to pick up those newspapers. And we would get them to office. We had 2 data entry operators who would, we had a format in Fox Pro. They would input the jobs in that format and give me this thing. I used to take 2 floppies. My dost tha, who was a programmer. He used to work from home part-time with us. And he had internet access, I did not. So I would take the thing to him. He had done the technology. He would upload the site. हम हफ्ते में 2 बार अपडेट करते थे, Wednesdays and Saturdays. Right? And traffic began to come. And and it became a popular site because it was like, people are interested in jobs that I learned from my earlier experience. But traffic began to come, and we had press coverage. Then, as people applied to those jobs from Naukri, they would write in the covering letter that I saw your job on Naukri.com. The recruiters began to hear about us.
Yes.
तो हमारी ऑटोमेटिकली मार्केटिंग हो गई. फिर इनबाउंड इंक्वायरी आने लगी. See, भाई I have got these 5 jobs, 6 jobs which I have not advertised in the paper. मैं आपको भेजूँ तो आप डाल दोगे. हम बोलते हाँ, we'll charge you 350 rupees job listing. आप भेज दीजिए हमें. And along with the jobs हम डाल देंगे. So slowly revenue began to come in. And that's how we started. But the insight was, why do people read Business India backwards?
Amazing. तो सर ये बताइए, पहले नाम क्या था आपने बताया?
In 93, that name we thought was JobNet.
JobNet versus Naukri. How did that transition happen?
So first of all, JobNet was a thought I had. Right? But by 97, somebody had launched a little magazine called JobNet. Somebody else.
हाँ. Okay.
Right? हमारा ट्रेडमार्क नहीं था वो.
अच्छा.
हमने तो आइडिया था 93 में. किसी और ने ले लिया वो नाम.
गुस्सा तो बहुत आया होगा तो.
नहीं. Okay, और ढूंढ लेंगे, ऐसी क्या बात है.
अच्छा ही हुआ.
So then we began to search for domain names before we launched. And I searched for the obvious ones first. India Jobs, Jobs India, India Employment, Employment India, Recruitment India, India Recruitment, Careers India, India Careers, सबने ढूंढ लिया. All were taken by somebody or the other. There was no website running, but नाम किसी ले लीजिए. So then we said, why not Hindi? हमने सोचा Naukri, and that was available. We registered that.
So tell me one thing, idea होता है और फिर उसका नाम होता है. How important is to name it right? And I see that आपके सारे जो most of the ventures हैं, they are very simple. Shiksha.com, 99 acres, Policybazaar, they are almost like category. मतलब हम category का नाम बोल रहे हैं and it becomes obvious. Except I think so Zomato.
So let me put it this way. When you're first mover and you're creating a category, it's important that your name communicates what you're about.
Yes.
Right? So Naukri was first mover. Jeevansathi was among the first movers.
Yes.
99 acres among the first movers. Shiksha was among the first movers. Zomato was originally Foodie Bay. वो नाम हमने बदला था.
वो कभी यूज.
So that was a name which Deepinder changed after we invested.
And was it an easy giveaway? क्योंकि we are very close to our names.
No, I think it made sense. Also because there may have been a legal issue with Foodie Bay.
Okay.
वो वैसे भी नाम से खुश नहीं थे. ऊपर से there was this thing around eBay and Foodie Bay.
हाँ.
So they decided to change the name.
I think so. Lot of people become very passionate about the name from a personal angle, and we try to also innovate the name too much. मतलब maybe हम साउथ दिल्ली, साउथ बॉम्बे से हैं तो कई बार वो वाला टच ओवर हो जाता है. पर when we make it more simplistic, more people can resonate with it.
No, I think a name must communicate what it's about. B, it must be easy to remember. C, it must be unique. And D, it has to have some sort of zing and coolness about it. So Zomato falls in that category. It is very cool. It has zing.
Zing. Yeah. Tell me one thing. You mentioned we get lot of consumer ideas. रोज देख रहे हैं and आपने कहा 5 रोज के आते हैं
उस समय. When you are thinking of starting something.
हाँ. But what is a
जब आप खाली होते
हैं पर आते भी हैं, बंद हो जाते हैं, फिर वो हो जाते हैं. तो if you could share what are some basic principles you use to filter, and you might be getting in a different way today when people are pitching you ideas.
So one of the things we look at is we look at several things when we meet a startup. Okay, quality of founder and team, their commitment, their capabilities, their integrity. See, that's important, really important. Other is, are they solving an unsolved problem? So first mover है कि नहीं है, unsolved problem solve करने की नहीं है, right? If there are 20 people doing the same thing, there is no reason why you should succeed.
Okay.
More than the others.
So basically, you have the right to win or no.
If you're first mover, I mean, and you're solving an unsolved problem, you have, I think, a higher chance of success, right? Then, of course, unit economics, market potential, market size, industry structure, market power, IP बन रहा नहीं बन रहा, network effect है कि नहीं है, या बन सकता नहीं बन सकता, all those things.
And what is the importance of asking questions in it? क्योंकि जैसे I was listening to your talks also, and there is this Ola story you share कि शुरू में आइडिया कुछ और था, आज जो बन गया कुछ और है.
जी.
तो एक तो हो गया क्लासिकल क्वेश्चंस पूछना, एंड देन क्वेश्चंस विच आर इंटेलिजेंट, विच टेल्स अस कि इज दिस द राइट गाय टू बैक ऑन.
नहीं, देखिए, what we like to do is we tell the person, भाई अपनी कहानी सुनाओ. ठीक है, आप कौन हो, कहाँ से आए हो, करना क्या चाहते हो और कैसे कर रहे हो, how you reached here, फैमिली के बारे में बताओ. Now all those things tell us a few things. There's a mosaic is built, and along the way you begin to ask questions in branch of
the business.
Okay, and this and this and that, right? And then you get into more detailed questions of the business.
Okay.
Right, but we like to get to know the person first. It's important to know the person.
So Sanjeev, when you have been shortlisting ideas which are like we say na anti-portfolio hota hai, which are some top anti-portfolio you see and say, really think about कि हाँ, I should have thought in a different manner.
Well, there's so many of them. The truth is, when you're looking at investing, in a very early stage, predictability is poor. You don't know इसका कुछ बनेगा नहीं बनेगा, right? And you take yes/no decisions all the time.
Yes.
So अभी तक हमने 120-140 कंपनियों में इन्वेस्ट किया हुआ है in the last 19 years. Now, उसमें 2 नहीं है, Zomato Policybazaar, which all been clingy, some are looking good, but 2 blockbusters. And there's so many other blockbusters out there in the market that we said no to. In the early stage, we said no to Lenskart, we said no to Flipkart, we said no to Ola, we said no to a whole bunch of other people. We said no to Snapdeal twice. Many people. हमने सबको मना किया हुआ है. For what we thought of valid reasons, they went out and succeeded big time. I said no to Myntra twice. They went out and succeeded big time.
Definitely.
And we would always sit and theorize कि ये इसका क्या होगा, उसका क्या होगा, right? And we got some things wrong. We invested in some we should not have invested. We did not invest in several we should have invested in. But we invested in some that are good. And the some that are good is what is keeping us going.
Yes. Glad you mentioned Lenskart. I had the fortune to 2-3 years in Lenskart, and it was a great experience. And definitely they are solving a very, very big problem. If you see 50% of the people in the world are wearing specs, और जो नहीं पहन रहे काई टेस्ट करा लो. So yeah, and I see a little bit pattern on the names of the company you mentioned. तो मुझे पैटर्न जो दिखा कि जो आप कंपनीज बिल्ड की हैं वो प्योर डिजिटल टाइप्स में, प्योर ऑफलाइन उठा के प्योर ऑनलाइन ले जाके, इट्स अ वेरी लो एसेट लाइट business. And Flipkart, Lenskart, they were very retail heavy movement of goods.
We don't have a principle of that nature.
Acha.
That's a coincidence. However, the truth is our own internal businesses are information arbitrage businesses, marketplaces, enabling handshakes. So perhaps we don't understand the other businesses as well. Right? And which is why you might have said no.
And is that the reason uska company ka naam InfoEdge hai?
It was called InfoEdge from the beginning, 8990 se. We were always dealing in information products and services. We were not dealing in physical products and services, physical products. And there is a bias towards selling bytes, not atoms.
Can you elaborate more?
Bytes में basically selling information, yeah.
अच्छा, हाँ. ठीक है. Great.
Atoms में selling physical products.
Physical products, हाँ. And there is a different unit economics and the scale which comes in. So.
And it requires a different kind of commercial smarts to understand it. Now, having said that, a lot of the investments we have made now, several of them are physical products and hardware and things.
Yeah.
That's because my other colleagues who are younger than me have that sensibility and capability. They bring it to the table.
Yeah. Diversity of opinion. Right. So, if I may ask a little off the tangent question, ki if your kids came to you to share an idea of a startup, hypothetically, what kind of questions will you ask to
the same questions that I ask the other founders about the business, and the same lens, same filter. And if they want to do it, obviously I'll offer them support financially and morally, but I would ask them all these questions at the same time.
Okay. But has it happened?
No. So my daughter is doing her own startup, and she has consistently refused funding from venture capitalists and from me. Reason being, she's saying, I don't want my investors sitting at the dining table every day.
So she's as to the point like you. So,
because she says, you'll keep telling me what to do, and if you're my investor, I'm obliged to listen.
मुझे अपना करना. You're Gen Z.
She's not Gen Z, she's millennial, but...
millennial, okay. So
and I didn't know the difference until I was pointed out.
अच्छा, ये different. I have an alpha and a Gen Z at home, तो मुझे छोटे वाले ने बताया मैं अल्फा हूँ, मैं Gen Z भी नहीं हूँ. मैंने कहा अच्छा समझ.
मुझे फर्क नहीं मालूम.
हाँ, मुझे भी नहीं पता, गूगल करना पड़ेगा, बट उसी से पूछूंगा. So little bit when you were building Naukri, what I understand is you were also teaching, and you mentioned it. You were teaching at B schools. So if you could share what.
Actually, I had stopped teaching at B school by 98. I had begun by 91. So 7 साल पढ़ाया.
7 साल.
On a regular basis. After that, it was just the odd lecture here or there.
And what subjects were you teaching, sir?
I was teaching mostly marketing, the basic marketing courses, introduction to marketing, marketing 1 and 2. And then I was teaching marketing in service industries.
Okay.
And then I have also taught a course called Written Analysis and Communication, which I transplanted from IIM Ahmedabad to here.
Okay. So I also teach at ISB, and when I transitioned out from Lenskart, to I got an opportunity to do guest lectures. फिर उन्होंने कहा तुम कोर्स ही पढ़ा दो क्योंकि you bring in industry experience. And what I learned by teaching is, I'll summarize it in a quote, that when you teach one person, 2 people learn. And what I realized is, जब मैं पढ़ाने जा रहा था तो मुझे लगा कि मुझे कितना आता है, और जब मैं पढ़ाने बैठा तो मुझे समझ में मुझे कितना कम आता है. And in that process, I learned a lot. And every time I teach, I have to prepare a lot because marketing is such a dynamic field. So my question to you is, what was your learning while teaching?
Yeah, देखो, when I went to business school, management school, IIM Ahmedabad, right, supposed to be number 1 in India. But the truth is, you could, if you wanted to, you could half prepare for class and go.
Achha.
And hide, right, and not, and just listen, don't speak. And it was a case method of teaching. So as long as you're familiar with case facts, you can get through the class. And several times we would do that. right? Only in courses we're really interested in would we actually, really prepare the case. Okay. Now there were, of course, other students who were much more diligent than me, and they were, and they would prepare for every case, for every class thoroughly. But there were several times when I did not prepare case fully and went to class, right? So I felt I had learned, but could I have learned more? Answer is yes. Now, when you go and teach, A, you have to prepare thoroughly
Yes.
yourself because you're teaching. B, you have to be smarter than everybody in class.
Yes.
You have to be smarter than all the people in class.
Yes.
Each one of them. Last one. Because there are 70 bright, sharp minds out there. They want to argue with you. You're teaching case method, which is you're not giving lecture,
Yes.
right? You're teaching case method, and this is what you're doing, and they're arguing with you. And somebody will think of something that you haven't thought of, and you got to admit that, yeah, that's perhaps a valid point. I was wrong, and you got to do. Therefore, you have to press so thoroughly that there's less and less chance of that happening. You've thought of everything
Yes.
before you go in. Of course, by the time the second or third year you teach the same case, you've been through 2 sessions earlier with earlier batches.
Yeah.
So you've been through it and you get better and better at it. But you've got to really think it through, right? and read and work hard on it. And so I had to do that. So I have learned more from my students than I have learned from going to class at Ahmedabad.
Totally agree. Similar experience. So,
And I'm still in touch with several of my students
okay.
from the 90s to Dilse.
Yeah. So, I would want to deep dive into a little bit more about your experience in marketing, because once we create a brand, a company, then the next thing is to get traffic and to scale it up. And you mentioned when Naukri was getting started, the traffic was 14,000 internet users, or maybe 20, मतलब जो भी बड़ा होगा.
14,000 अकाउंट से
हाँ.
तो शेयर अकाउंट यूज करना शायद 1 लाख 1.5 लाख यूजर होंगे.
हाँ जी. और आज it's 1 billion in
जी.
India itself, which
जी.
is 100 crore.
जी.
And I was just flipping through your annual report, and it was mentioning that there are 100 million accounts on Naukri, which means 10 crore.
जी.
So, matlab 10% of the internet users roughly have an account with Naukri,
जी.
which is a very big number.
जी.
So, in this journey from 1 lakh to 10 crore or 100 crore, what were the points where you saw these transitions happening?
या हम तो डेली काम करते हैं, तो डेली काम करते हैं. देयर इज नो वन ट्रांजिशन डे और पॉइंट. बट इफ आई लुक एट, आई थिंक देयर वाज शेल अकाउंट एक्सेस with mono monitor.
Yes.
Then the market evolved that most people are using TCP/IP access
Yes.
with a color monitor. That is one transition.
और पीछे मोटा वाला color.
Okay, but it's color. It's different from black and white.
Yes.
And it's TCP/IP, which means there are GIFs, pictures, all that. Right. So the requirements for design and layout change.
Yes.
Right. Then there was another transition, which is from dial-up modem access
To lease them.
to always on access in your place of work or residence. First place of work. So ऑफिस में LAN आया,
Line.
right? और उसके थ्रू कनेक्ट था, right? फिर वाईफाई आया, फिर घर पे वाईफाई आया, फिर मोबाइल फोन पे एक्सेस आया,
Yes.
right? फिर डेटा बिकेम चीपर, फिर स्मार्टफोन पेनिट्रेशन बढ़ा, फिर यू मूव फ्रॉम वेबसाइट टू एप्स.
Yes. That was a big change.
So all of these things have happened over the last 30 years that Naukri has been around for. None of these happened in one day.
Yes.
But these are various phases. So you've got to adapt to each phase. Right? Online payments. पहले online payments नहीं होती थी.
हाँ.
वो आए.
पहले draft.
फिर UPI आया. So these are all shifts. Right? फिर GPS आया. You could have location on mobile,
कि कहाँ से access कर.
which is huge for, I mean, without location, Zomato would not exist as the delivery service.
Yes. And Blinkit के लिए तो और different, मतलब it's
exactly.
like 10 minutes.
Exactly. So these are the various shifts that have happened over the last 30 years.
And any reflections on how you have seen marketing evolve?
Along the way, of course, small funding came in like 2000. Then the environment went dry for about 5-6 years. Then funding began again 2007-8. Then big funding began. Right? So capital availability, government regulations changed along the way. Right? So the government has been a big enabler of this whole digital ecosystem. I think regulation, I think some technology backbones, I think the UPI and payment stack. Right?
Yes.
All of this has been stuff that the government has done. I think mobile phone penetration, allowing mobile phones to penetrate. I think cheaper data. I think the role of BSNL in the early days in mobile telephony, going into geographies that the private companies would not go. I think offering cheaper data packs first.
Yeah.
Role of Reliance, Jio, in all of this, cheaper data packs. So all of this has enabled, companies like ours to run our businesses.
So Sanjeev, few days ago in Cyber Hub, अपना जो गुड़गांव में Cyber Hub है, they were very funny ad of Naukri. They had put a big peanut and a big lollipop. And I've always been intrigued by the marketing which Naukri has done, the famous Sadu campaign. And I think so you have never taken a celebrity or मतलब मुझे ऐसा याद नहीं है, but it has been very fun loving thing which hits you on your mind, and it promotes job snacking to some extent. It forces you to think, yeah, am I at the right place?
Sir, report 1. Report 2. But sir...
Shut up!
Sir, hotel reservation desk on line 2.
Yes, I would like to book a table for 2.
Sure, sir.
Poolside.
Your name, sir?
Hari Sadu.
What, sir?
Hari Sadu.
Sir, may I? Yes, write down Hari Sadu. H for Hitler, A for arrogant, R for I for idiot. That's right. Now write Sadu. S for...
Shameless?
I'll tell you, I'm not sure how many people are actually influenced by stuff like this to actually switch a job. Right? Because that's a very serious decision.
But वो एक fun की वजह से वो नौकरी आ जाता है. नौकरी means fun.
So basically, it gives brand awareness. It builds top of mind for Naukri. Right? And maybe get some traffic onto Naukri. But people will not switch jobs just because the particular mean boss like Hari Sadu. कोई job switch नहीं करता actually for that reason.
I think so it is very similar to Amul. अमूल की वो जो हम अटरली बटरली डिलीशियस देख के हम अमूल नहीं खरीदते, बट वो हमें खरीदना तो अमूल ही है क्योंकि नीड इतनी एस्टैब्लिश्ड है और कोई है ही नहीं कंपटीशन. बस वो बीच बीच में याद दिलाते रहता है आई एग्जिस्ट, याद रखना.
That's exactly it.
But how did we, मतलब if you could tell us कि what was the thought behind taking fun as the...
So I'll tell you. See, first of all, I was not responsible for it in the company.
अच्छा.
ठीक है. There was Hitesh, there was a marketing manager, and there was an ad agency.
अच्छा.
Ad agency was FCB Ulka. ठीक है. So I'd love to get the credit for that, but that would be false.
But resistance आया था ये ऐसे जब campaigns की ideas आए थे कि यार
नहीं, nobody minded fun. We were looking at the expense.
फन नहीं फंड.
ठीक है. तो मुझे याद है कि we didn't have too much money. We had a finite amount of money. We hired a big and respected and respectable and capable ad agency, FCB Ulka.
Yes.
The terms of the contract were that we'll pay them a monthly retainer. In that monthly retainer, they will do their creative work, right? And come out with ideas and stuff. We had only so much money to spend on media. So we did not, so typically company में क्या होता है, there's a marketing budget, there's a deadline. इस date तक नई फिल्म launch होगी. We did not do that. We said we have one shot. 5 crore हैं to spend on TV. And that's it. उसके बाद पैसा खत्म. Right? So we will wait for the right creative before we spend the 5 crores. If we have to spend 1.8 crores a year to Ulka, that is a commitment, we'll do it. But ये 5 करोड़ है ना,
डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन में सबसे ज्यादा पैसा खर्च होता है टीवी की एड बार.
5 करोड़ हम, unless the creative is really good, we will
not push it.
we will not push it. Right? अब, so Ulka would keep coming out with creative and we would keep saying, ye nahi. It's okay, take your time. There's no deadline. There's no deadline to launch an ad film. But every 2 weeks we want something. No, show us. And they keep working. So we must have been a slightly unique client, and we must have been a slightly difficult client in that sense. You keep rejecting creative until you figure you found a creative behind which you want to put that 5 crores. Okay? So, and they would keep asking us for data information. We'd keep giving whatever we could find. मुझे याद है 2003-4 में शायद, I forget कब. We were profitable, so we had that 5 crores to spend. And there was a survey done by the Economist magazine. So Economist magazine होती, वो हमारे ऑफिस में आती थी हर हफ्ते. I think it's a weekly. Okay. And they often used to carry a 16-page survey or something or the other.
Yes.
Right?
Supplement आता था.
It was, I mean, it was a pull-out. I mean, okay, it was in the magazine, but pull-out. It was a separate section, right? And there was a survey of Economist magazine in collaboration with Egon Zehnder.
Okay.
Egon Zehnder, the big executive search firm, world leader, of why people switch jobs. Okay, तो वो हमने भेज दिया उल्का को, भाई ये आया देख लो आप, कुछ मिले इसमें. उसमें एक था insight that 90% of people don't switch jobs for more salary or for professional growth or for greater challenges. वो बाद में कहते हैं that that's why I switched. They begin their job search because they have a bad boss. So essentially, they don't want to work with a guy anymore. You join a company for the company, you leave a company for a lousy boss, lousy team. By and large. अब ये insight था. So Ulka looked at it, the creative person there, the team there, said, इसमें कुछ है. Then they came and said, boss, 2-3 चीजें हैं. They came and told us, there are 3, they quote, you only 5 crores. A big job of the TV commercial has to be to stand out of clutter. Because 5 crore mein to stand out of clutter is hard on media money. You got to do it by the creative being different. The way to stand out of clutter is to be memorable and humorous.
Yes.
And touch an emotional chord. 3 चीजें. Memorable, humorous, touch an emotional chord. Okay. Then they said, there are 3 big relationships in India. There is the mother-son relationship, which has been done to death in the Hindi movies of 70s and 80s. Ma.
Yeah.
Okay. There is a saas-bahu relationship, which has been done to death with TV serials.
Yes.
Interactions between mother-in-law and daughter-in-law at home. So there's a third big relationship which nobody's touched, and Naukri can own it. The interaction between a boss and subordinate at work.
Yes.
And let's face it, everybody in life has had a bad boss sometime or the other.
Totally.
Right? And has had rough interactions with the boss in the office. Now you can't, at work, you cannot actually be rude to your boss.
Yes.
If he's a bad boss. You cannot. Okay. Can we make people live out of fantasy of getting back at a bad boss through a creative commercial in a funny manner? So that kernel of an insight as to why people leave jobs, switch jobs, to get away from a bad boss, became the basis for a set of 3 films.
Okay.
The third of which was Sadu.
अच्छा.
उससे पहले 2 और फिल्में थी.
अच्छा.
And that idea started from there. So the first commercial actually in that series also did very well. It is a commercial of a team and their boss interacting in a washroom. It's all male sort of film, interacting in a washroom. Okay. That did well. And the second one did not do so well. It was the office party cake, whatever, something. Right? And that did not do well. But the first one did very well. And we ran with that, continued to run with that. And then came Hari Sadu. अब हरी साडू का जो क्रिएटिव जो स्पार्क आया था, the team was the Ulka team was sitting in office, the creative team, and there was a guy who was talking on the phone, and जैसे बोलते हैं ना landline पे, it's not clear. N for Nagpur, A for Apple, you spell out a name, right? But the guy can't understand. And this guy says, hey, why not do a commercial of a boss who's trying to explain his name to somebody over the phone, and then the subordinate comes and spells it using, Hitler, arrogant, rascal, idiot. Right?
फिर shameless आता है साडू.
Okay. And they came to the script and we approved it. And I didn't. I mean, like I said, I can't claim any credit for this. But Hitesh can, and marketing managers can. Aisha Kapoor, Sumit Singh. Sumit came later actually. Aisha Kapoor, Hitesh. Right? And that's how it happened.
Amazing.
And it really worked. I think Hari Sadu is the closest to a cult ad that I have seen in my entire career in India.
It has lived generations.
Right? And, it really lifted the brand. I mean, that was a 10x creative. Or 10x creatives you get once in 10 years or 20 years.
And it is experimentation also sometimes. You don't know what will go.
So full marks to the Ulka team. Full marks to our team. Not me. Hitesh, Aisha. I recall we had first rejected the washroom commercial script. Why? Because 25 lakh का production estimate आया था. Right? And हमने बोला बहुत महंगा नहीं करना है. We had no clue कि चलेगा नहीं चलेगा. शायद चल जाए, शायद ना चले. ना चले तो 25 लाख गए. Right? It was big money for the early 2000s. We were a small company. Then Aisha Kapoor came and said, I want to do this. And she put her foot down. So we said, okay, fine. If you want to do it, do it.
And it must have really taken the brand recall.
It did, but Hari Sadu was a different orbit.
Different orbit, And it'll stay along. उसके नए versions बन सकते हैं.
अब पता ही Gen Z को appeal करें नहीं करेगा. I do not know.
इसका नया version.
Gen Z is a different animal.
Yeah, you have to rethink it. It has to be current. So, you talk about this concept of traffic magnets. I really loved growth hacks because today people at one end are spending huge amount of money and it gets concentrated with just two companies, Google and Meta. So, if you could share some, especially which really gets traffic, because this example is a brand. This gets on the top of mind. But traffic magnets क्या होता है? And
traffic magnets was Naukri before we advertised.
Okay.
अपने आप traffic आ रहा था because it was based on a customer insight.
Okay.
What is the customer insight? That people want to look at jobs.
उस समय jobs से hit था, monster था.
That's right. But we were the only ones with the insight that jobs are a traffic magnet in India. So what does it mean? It means that you have to have the most number of jobs. अगर जॉब के पास 500 है, हमारे पास 5,000 होने चाहिए. Which means we put on jobs free. Which means that our pricing strategy with 350 rupees job listing and 6,000 rupees subscription, unlimited jobs. The more jobs you put, the more traffic you'll get.
Yeah, because then
you don't have to advertise.
Yeah.
Now, jobs at Monster did not have that insight, did not understand that. So our entire pricing strategy was based on the insight that jobs are a traffic magnet. Because I had observed people did business in India backwards. Right? So, which meant that आपको free jobs डालने हैं, आपको सस्ते jobs डालने हैं, don't charge too much. आपको एक annual subscription देना है, which tells you that एक बार ले लिया 6,000 का साल का, तो डालते जाओ. Don't look over your shoulder. Don't look अरे कितना पैसा लग रहा है. Right? And it was that insight that led us to get the most traffic. और एक बार we got the most traffic, we began to get the most clients because we got the most response. Got the most clients, we got the most jobs. It was snowballing. It was a virtuous circle. It was that's network effect in our business. But that is all based on an insight, which is jobs attract traffic. Advertising does not drive traffic, jobs drive traffic.
Yes.
But if you got profit ban gaya, then you can invest in a better sales team, better customer service, more product innovation, more advertising.
Yeah. So Sanjeev, I was reading your annual report this morning, सुबह तो numbers ढूंढने के लिए, तो there was this page about Shiksha, and I was looking at कि what is the metric you use to define कि to वो, तो इस पे तो था नौकरी recruitment, I think so it's called it, तो उसमें था कि 100 million people are on Naukri. And I don't remember the number, but Shiksha में एक बहुत interesting number था, number of reviews was the KPI. And I really loved it because my son is going through college admissions and I end up going to shiksha.com because it has the best information to research. कॉलेज क्या लेना है वो एक अलग क्वेश्चन है, बट रिसर्च अगर मैं अच्छे से फ्यूल करूं, it can provide me.
So listen, so you got to figure out for each offering, of ours, what is the value prop. The value prop for Naukri from the job seeker side is you will find enough jobs relevant to you to apply to the most at Naukri. If you put a CV on Naukri, it will be seen by the most number of recruiters. You have the highest chance of being contacted by a recruiter.
Yes.
If that is true, and if that is a valid claim, and if you live up to that promise, you will get the most job seekers coming to you.
Yeah. And then you can make money through the...
Likewise, for recruiters, it is that we will give you the best candidates, whether in response to a job listing or in, when you do a database search, and we'll give you the right tools to search that database.
Yes.
And to sort out the responses you get from the job ad. So the most productive use of your time to achieve your recruitment objectives is to hire through Naukri.
Yes.
And if you can develop that promise,
you're taken care of.
Okay, then you'll remain market leader. And that's what all our tech product innovation is focused on. How do you make it work better? Okay, for your clients and for your job seekers. For 99 acres, it is the most relevant properties.
Yes, उसमें properties.
But see, properties is very local. So you got to make discovery of the local property. I am not interested, boss, in buying in Ballabgarh. It's not relevant to me. If I'm in Ballabgarh, I'm interested in buying in Ballabgarh. So how do you, on local basis, deliver the most relevant real estate options quickly? And from a builder or broker or advisor perspective, how do you deliver most leads?
I think so Zomato also started with similar objective, if I recall.
So yes, Zomato is a wild success, as is Blinkit. Policybazaar is a wild success. We get unfair credit for that. The credit goes to those teams, those founders, Deepinder and Pankaj and others, Albinder and Akshant and all. Okay, Gigi, Mohit, all the entire team there, Akriti. Okay, and others whom I have not named. Right? The success of Policybazaar goes to Yashish and his team, Alok, Sarveer.
So a lot of this is about information arbitrage, helping customers do research well and solve their problem.
In Shiksha, though, you mentioned, you need authentic information that you cannot get elsewhere.
Exactly.
So what you see in the print ads or education is what the education institution wants to say.
Yeah.
What you see on the education institution's website is what the education institute wants to put there.
Yes.
What you see with reviews
Mm.
is slightly more authentic because these are actual students or parents talking about it,
Yes.
or alumni. Okay, so you get a more complete picture.
Yeah.
You see, if I ask you to name the top 10 business schools in India, you get approximately right.
Mm. Yes.
You know, top 5 IIMs and
हाँ,
XLRI, FMS, Bajaj,
I
you know.
split out.
ठीक है, ठीक है, वो है, right? But if I ask you to, between this institution that is ranked 51st, and you know, these rankings are also dodgy sometimes, and this one is ranked 95th, which is actually better for me.
Yeah. मतलब MBA में तो उतना प्रॉब्लम नहीं होता, इंजीनियरिंग में तो बहुत हो जाता है क्योंकि स्ट्रीम आ जाता है साथ में.
Engineering में तो और भी होता है, right? So you know, that is when, you know, Shiksha really counts.
Yeah. In fact, I was using it extensively and so जैसे I'll tell an example. कल क्या हुआ, जोसा का काउंसलिंग का राउंड 1 आया. तो जैसे होता है ना, इलेक्शन में मैसेजेस आने शुरू होते हैं कि 9 AM पे ये अभी आने वाला है, 1 घंटे में आने वाला है, फिर आधे घंटे में आएगा, निकल गया है, ये लोग कह रहे हैं. ऑलमोस्ट लाइक अ क्रिकेट कॉमेंट्री और वोटिंग रिजल्ट्स कॉमेंट्री, दे स्टार्टेड डूइंग इट. And then they have something called, I think, so Shiksha GPT or something. So I had some questions. तो मैंने उसमें जाके try किया and the answers were pretty good because much better than what I was seeing at Claude versus ChatGPT. Maybe because it's sitting on a very rich curated database.
We have done good work in vertical AI.
Can you explain what is vertical AI for?
We focused on that vertical only. See, ChatGPT is extensive. You can ask it any question about any subject.
And it's picking data from...
It'll tell you something, right? Maybe right, maybe wrong, maybe mostly right, maybe half right, whatever. But it'll tell. Now, Shiksha mein, it's within that vertical. Engineering colleges in India will tell you. Study abroad will tell you. Management schools in India will tell you, and so on. Because we have gone deep into a vertical and are delivering new stuff.
So, as marketing is evolving, पहले मेरे ख्याल से brand marketing और उस पे बहुत focus था. Over the last decade, I think so, content marketing has become huge. For example, Shiksha का जो हम example discuss करें, it's more content marketing. I am providing you the best information to do research and make your answer. And then there is the social media marketing which is coming, and with a lot of time spent, us spending 2.5 hours a day dumb scrolling. So how do you see this evolving and where do you see people making mistakes?
No, the role of AI will only increase, let's face it. Because AI will also get to be more trusted. The more authentic responses it gives, it'll get to be more trusted. So you got to figure out as a marketer how to use AI to get yourself more productive and to harness AI to reach the right target group with the right message.
Yes. So Sanjeev, a lot of startups and companies who are in high growth phase, they raise a lot of money and a portion of that money is spent in ads, social media ads, meta ads, Google ads. And there are two ways where people talk about is ad waste versus growth. How do you see this?
देखिए, first of all, understand one thing. अगर आपको कंपनी 5 साल में बनानी है versus 20 साल में बनानी है, okay? You can be much more measured in your kharcha if you have 20 years to build a company. Now, the truth is, if you raise venture capital money, venture capital has a fund. The fund has a life. They need an exit before that.
Yes.
Life is over. Exit होता है strategic sale और IPO से. Mostly IPO in India. So which means you need to get a size and scale and a growth trajectory and possibly profit. Profit is still optional. Huh? Possibly profit before you go public. You do that in 7 years. So you're working on a clock if you raise venture capital. अगर आपके पास 20 साल होते, तो maybe the game would be different. But then there'd be competition, which is VC funded. Competition is spending. Competition is raising.
आप नहीं करोगे तो कोई और कर रहा होगा.
Exactly. So unfortunately you are married to a timetable to deliver outcomes. Some sort of timetable. It's not a quarterly timetable, but it is a 3-5 year, 6-7 year timetable. Okay. And that is the nature of the startup ecosystem if you raise venture capital.
Okay.
Right? हमने अपनी पहली इन्वेस्टमेंट्स अपनी बैलेंस शीट से की थी. So we didn't have a fund with a finite timeline.
Okay.
So we invested in Policybazaar in 2000 and I think 8, if I'm not wrong. Or was it earlier than that? 2008. Right? 18 years later, we're still there. Way beyond the life of any fund. We invested in Zomato in 2010. 16 years later, we're still there. So we have the luxury of being patient, ultra patient, because we don't have a fund with a life from which we invested. We did not realize the importance of this when we first invested. But as time went by, we figured, यार हम वो चीज़ कर सकते हैं जो शायद funds नहीं कर सकते, which is wait infinitely. So some of the, I think the smartest things we've done in Zomato and Policybazaar, nothing dramatic, just waiting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I remember
as an investor, the genius is of, and the execution is of the founding teams and the management teams in those two companies. हमने केवल पैसे डाल के वेट किए हैं.
patient capital.
So we get celebrated for our financial success, saying, भाई ये लोग genius है, हम genius नहीं है. We are just patient. We are good at selection and then we're patient. Of course, we keep discussing with our companies. We keep guiding them. We keep giving our opinion, which they often don't listen to because at the end of the day, it's their company and they're running it. Right? And sometimes they listen. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. Sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong. We muddle through.
It reminds me of Rakesh Jhunjhunwala holding Titan for the longest time.
Gee.
And
so he told me that. Rakesh, God bless his soul, was a key funder of Ashoka University and a founder. And I'm also a founder. And COVID ke time, I remember speaking to him on Zoom, just generally shooting the breeze and asking him, and he told me, Sanjeev, if you've hit upon a truly great company, the maximum returns are in holding forever. Like I've done at Titan. Now, this is not to say that we will hold Zomato and Policybazaar forever, but I'm just saying this is one piece of advice that I got.
in fact, I'm not sure if you got a chance to see the Titan story.
I've not seen it yet. It's been recommended to me by many people. I would say
it is amazing. It's amazing. And you see, first time on the screen, glimpses of J.R.D. Tata and how he builds with Success Desai. And then I had the fortune to work with Titan for some time in consulting role. तो अब मैं उधर से देखता हूँ ना, and there was one character who was not named, but he was later told कि he was Bhaskar Bhatt, who was the CNMD for the longest, he was longest time. तो मुझे तो बहुत मजा आया, बच्चों के साथ मैंने 2 बार देखा.
I will watch it.
So एक last point on marketing, then we'll move to another topic, is type of marketing. Okay, पहले product hero था, पहले need hero थी, फिर हमने कहा प्रोडक्ट बेटर है कंपटीशन से. नाउ आई थिंक सो इट इज बिकमिंग मोर ह्यूमन बाय द पीपल हु आर बिल्डिंग इट. मे बी द फाउंडर इज कमिंग इन फ्रंट. एंड personal experience, when I was at Lenskart, there was a time we were plateauing when Piyush went on Shark Tank, the face came in and then he took the risk to even come on the ads. And then it started working. It became a more human brand. And now we see a lot of brands doing it.
I think several brands do it, and I think several small brands do it. Because people need to have a story. People need to have a differentiated story. People need to tell the story in a differentiated manner. So a human face, a human being, a person, a real person who says, hey, I am bringing you this product. And this is why I'm doing it. And this is what I think is good about it. And I'm, and this is why I think you should have it. It just might become more believable.
Yeah.
So if it adds to credibility,
Why not?
if it adds to authenticity, it makes sense.
And definitely there are risks with it also, which comes.
yes, there are some risks, but by and large, told well, it should be okay.
Yeah.
Now, we've never done it in our company, okay, because we come from old school. The brand is different from the manager, right? I cannot see in large companies like Lever or Nestle, a brand manager go on TV and say, hey, I'm the brand manager, this is my brand. It doesn't happen.
But agar
See, also, you see, consumers love to hear source of origin stories, legends, right? How the product is made, who made it,
yes.
right? So in companies that have been around for 100 years, 200 years, the brands they sell, the source of origin story goes back 200 years, 100
This is
years.
Tata's का example.
So, you know, कि भाई Cadbury's का chocolate यहाँ पे बनता था पहले, this is Mr. Cadbury. He thought of this.
Yeah.
Right? So there's a certain legend. So I think legends are also important in brands. Stories, source of origin, the person who's thought of the brand, all these add to authenticity.
And in fact, if we see the largest IPO which is coming, SpaceX,
वो तो आ गया.
आ गया. So उसमें भी brand is Elon Musk.
Yeah.
तो और Richard Branson, मतलब इंडिया में उतने examples नहीं है. Richard Branson used to be, वो जा रहा है कभी एयर बलून में जा रहा है, फिर इंडिया में हाथी लेके आ रहा है. Sanjeev, you mentioned multiple times and being very humble that it was not you who did it, okay, in these examples. And when you were at Naukri, you know, you must be deep into the trenches working. How easy or difficult was it to come back, step back, and then think differently to start exploring the different ideas you have?
See, we began to invest in 2007. Right? And that beginning was, we are accidental investors. We are not, it was not a planned strategy.
अच्छा.
अब क्योंकि कामयाब हो गई है, right? Our investing strategy. In hindsight, people say visionary, planning, nothing, strategy, nothing. Basically, what had happened was we were going public. So we went public in 2006. We were preparing for it for a year and a half before that. October 2006 went public. In September 2005, we had appointed the bankers. And we'd begun work. So there's a document called a DRHP.
Yes.
Draft Red Herring Prospectus. Yes. And RHP, Red Herring Prospectus.
Red Herring Prospectus.
So it's a requirement to go public that you first submit a DRHP to SEBI. SEBI clears it and you publish an RHP.
Yes.
So DRHP is a 250 page की document होती है. Lots of clauses, if buts, legalese, risks, all of that has to for disclosure, right, to the public before they buy shares. They can read it. So DRHP now we were pretty hands-on on our DRHP. This then CFO Ambrish Raghuvanshi, who's back in the company right now, the finance team, company secretary Hitesh, everybody. So हमारी टीम बैठी थी एक कॉन्फ्रेंस रूम में. There were two bankers, Citibank and ICICI Securities. उनकी टीम. There were two sets of lawyers, right? One for us, one for the bankers. And we project a document on the screen in our conference room using a projector, and we go clause by clause. Okay? So we actually knew our DRHP pretty much inside out.
So basically, why you are raising money?
One was a section, a very important section, is the object of the issue.
Okay, why are you raising?
Okay, so object of the issue, तो मैंने बोला कि boss, I'll go home tonight. मैं खुद लेके आऊँगा इस section को. Then you debate the draft. So that night I went back. That evening I went back home, and at night I typed it out. Objects of the issue, to give the investor an exit, to make sure the ESOP has value, to make sure stock has currency, to put the company in different strategic space, to have perpetual access to capital, and to be able to stay independent, because it is very difficult to do a hostile takeover of a listed company in this country. होता नहीं है. मैंने ये 6 चीजें लिखी. I came back. So the banker said, नहीं चलेगा boss. This is why you want a listing. This is not what you will do with the money. SEBI will not clear this. So there's a standard 4 or 5 things you say. वो हम लिख के ले आएंगे. ठीक है? And that is what you will do with the money. Because your listing is primary, not secondary.
क्या difference होता है?
Primary is when you take money into the company and issue new shares. Secondary is when
You give exits to people.
Secondary is when existing shareholders sell their shares and the public buys. तो ये सब हुआ. तो they came back with 5 things. Organic growth, inorganic growth, general corporate purpose, एक दो और थे. ठीक है. तो हमने वो किया. अब the truth is we are profitable and that there was more money coming into the company every month. Okay, from sales and profits. So अब issue हो गया, issue कामयाब हुआ. And every quarter our auditors Pricewaterhouse would come and present to the board and say use of IPO proceeds nil.
Okay.
Because
चाहिए नहीं cash positive business.
So then the board said, yeah, this cannot continue. You have raised money on this basis. You have to use the money for this basis. So then we scratched and said, what do we do? And inorganic growth देखते हैं. Inorganic growth meant acquiring a company, कुछ था नहीं available. And no decent company at any kind of good price was there. So then we said, there are enough startups that are trying. There's not enough VC capital, venture capital available because those are साथ में नहीं था. And we said, ये भी inorganic growth है. So why don't we start investing in startups? Board said, okay. And that's how our startup investing program began.
Okay.
To the quest for compliance, a directive from the board for compliance. Right? जो आपने वादा किया है, दिवाना पड़ेगा. कि आप पैसे लगाओगे इन 5 चीज़ों में. Right? And so that is how we began to invest. So शुरू में इन्वेस्टमेंट हमारी बैलेंस शीट से हुई थी. बाद में हमने एक venture capital fund float किया.
So Sanjeev, when a startup or a company, high growth company is made, a lot of focus is on the founder and he gets celebrated. The 2-3 people get celebrated and mentioned. A lot of the founding team who are the developers who are first, जैसे आपने कई लोगों का नाम दिया आपने इसमें, तो they are also working like in and out, but they are working like a job also कि उन्होंने salary ले रहे हैं, but उनका मेरे ख्याल से job description is totally open, all are hands on the deck. And somehow I feel is definitely how many entrepreneurs can we make, okay? But there are a lot of intrapreneurs which are made as part of this journey, and as more startups are built, these will be the people who will really make these companies big. So what's your view on it, and how can people think about building a career in this?
See, I'll tell you. As a founder, I have got much more credit than I deserve. Okay? क्योंकि नाम मीडिया मेरा पिकअप करती है, चाहे काम किसी और का हो. Right? मैं जितना मैं बताऊँ कि मेरा काम नहीं है, people don't listen and they don't understand. But actually, there's several people who've done much more than me in the company in the last 20-25 years. So actually, there's several people in the company who've done much more than me. Hitesh ka dekhiye. Look at a lot of the people in the investing team.
Yes.
Naam mera aata hai, but the hard work is done by others. There are so many. There's Kitty Agarwal, there's Chinmay Sharma, there is Vibhor Sharma, Amit Behel, Rishabh Katiyar, there is Ankit Garg. There's so many. But naam mera aata hai. Or take a look at people who head our businesses internally.
Yes.
Right? There's Pawan Goyal, who has recently left. There was, Jatin Tokral, head of AI. There is Rohan Mathur, head of Jeevansathi and strategic investments. There is Sumit Singh, marketing. Sharmin Khalid, HR. There are CFOs, Chintan Thakkar, and now Amrish Raghuvanshi back again. Amrish Raghuvanshi earlier. I could name 100 people. Very often, they do not get the public recognition.
Yes.
But many of them are entrepreneurs and entrepreneurial.
Yes.
And they deserve full credit and recognition in public and by the public.
If somebody watching this podcast wants to be part of such organizations, so there are two dark, there is a lot of negative things about being part of the startups, and then there is a great part of experiencing that journey. I had the opportunity to work few years in 2-3 organizations in startup roles, and I could say 10 साल मैंने एक कंपनी में काम किया और 1 साल जो मैंने इस कंपनी में काम किया, contributions are similar. So what is that advice you would give them? What is the trait you would get them to build it?
नहीं, देखिए, एक तो अंडरस्टैंड फुल्ली what you're getting into, right? No matter which company, which kind of company you're joining, तो research करके जाओ. Don't go there and get taken by surprise and after 6 months try to leave. That's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Your time, your employer's time, the founder's time.
Yes.
ठीक है? To have candid conversations with the relevant people in the company before you join, if you're running a startup.
Yes.
Look, this is who I am, this is what I expect, this is what I can do, this is what I cannot do, this is what I won't like to do, this is what I'm happy to do, and what are your expectations of me? And only then go in. But understand one thing, if you're running a startup, don't expect an organization that is mature. Don't expect an organization that has got set systems which are
Yes.
in stone. Don't expect the kind of support departments that large companies have. Very often, I mean, you would have to be an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
even if you're not a founder.
You have to solve problems.
You got to achieve outcomes no matter what. Sometimes you're working 24/7. This 9 to 5 business typically does not work in startups.
Yes.
And if the job demands it, you got to do it. Otherwise, don't be there.
Sanjeev, you have seen multiple legs of a career. Okay, you have seen helping people get jobs. You have built Shiksha for helping people get to the right college, and then you have also built a college. So, what was going in your mind as you were going down the value chain? कि ये problem solve करना है, ये problem solve करना है, and what led to?
Yeah, it was not systematically thought through the way you're portraying it. First of all, Shiksha मैंने launch नहीं की, ठीक है? Shiksha was Hitesh's brainchild,
अच्छा.
ठीक है? Along with other people, but not my brainchild. Ashoka, I had a role and contribution in the idea, but a lot of the leadership and execution is from others. Ashish Dhawan, Pramad Sinha, others. Vineet Gupta, right? On the founder side. And then, of course, there's Rangshu Mukherjee, there is, Malavika Sarkar, and Shomak Roy Chaudhary. And for about 2 years, Pratap Manu Mehta. So a lot of the heavy lift, and then there are other faculty, deans,
Yes,
a whole bunch of people. And on the management side, there are a whole bunch of people. There are pro vice chancellors, Ali Imran, there is Venkat, there are a whole bunch of other people. So you can't do it without a team. You cannot do it without
Yes.
a whole bunch of people, doing a lot of the heavy lifting. So I cannot claim sole credit for Ashoka. I cannot claim
Yeah, definitely.
sole credit for Shiksha. Although Ashoka was my idea initially, Shiksha was not my idea. That was Hitesh's. Naukri was my idea initially, but then the baton quickly passed on to Hitesh after 5, 7, 10 years. And Naukri has existed for 29 years now. So उसमें से it was my baby intellectually for maybe 8, 10 years.
So the point which I was coming to, Sanjeev, is when we are thinking about launching the education institutions, on one hand, Ashoka came in, similar, I think so Plaksha also came in. What was the inspiration the team got to solve? And also, was there any influence from the Western education systems?
So let me tell you. So Ashoka, the idea came from my own personal journey to me. So when I was finishing school, I qualified for IIT, and that had been my dream. And when I went for the counseling and I was done a medical test, I was told I was partially colorblind. And that sort of made me pause and think, right? And I asked myself, why do I want to be an engineer? And when I asked myself that question, मैं 10-15 दिन सोचा, तो मुझे ये एहसास हुआ कि I don't want to be an engineer. I want to be an IITian. I need the brand. I'm looking for the brand. I'm looking for it, the chapa. I'm looking for certain doors to
Validation.
open. I'm looking for the label. I'm looking for a good outcome at the end of 4 or 5 years of the IIT
You want
program.
to be part of a tribe.
That's right. At the core of it, that's what it was. And that is not something I thought about until I discovered I was colorblind, partially. They said you can join, it's okay, certain careers and streams will be close to you, but it'll go down permanently in your medical record. And that's when I began to think, is there a risk here? Before that, there was no risk in IIT. And then I got St. Stephen's College. I said, yeah, ye bhi brand hai, ye bhi tribe hai, so why not this? So I joined Stephens, slightly confused. And when I finished from Stephens,
स्टीफन से आपने क्या किया था सर?
economics.
इकोनॉमिक्स.
So when I joined, when I graduated from Stephens, I said this could have been actually a lot better, Delhi University. This exam at the end of the year, you can be Vela for 9 months, study for 3 months, and you're okay. Okay, and but it's okay. Life went on. I began to work. I got into IMA. Life went on. Became an entrepreneur. No problem. What happened in 2007 was that St. Stephen's College announced that there'll be 50% reservation with a 30% gap in the admission interview cutoff of the open category and the reserved category.
Okay.
So a 30% gap पे the alumni were all up in arms. Saying a 5% gap is okay, 30% is not.
Yeah.
You're delivering academic standards. So we appealed to, try to reason with the college authority. They said no. This is it. And so that's when sort of I got the notion that perhaps it's time to start a new college or university. And so I went to Ashish Dhawan and I said, maybe it's time to start a new college. Around that time, my kids were also growing up. Those are साथ की बात है. My kids were also growing up. My daughter was then 14, and I had begun to research colleges around the world, universities around the world. And I had gone and given talks at a few overseas. India में तो मैं करता ही था. I'd go and give talks in IITs, IIMs, other colleges, and यहाँ पे मैं गया overseas. And then I said, maybe we need a college. So see, what has happened in India is we have inherited the British system.
Yes.
Which means you pick your subject and you study it in college. The US, you study 6-7 subjects in the first 2 years, then you pick your major.
Yeah.
So you've got multidisciplinary education. See, in India, you have multidisciplinary universities, but you don't have multidisciplinary education because the student goes through only one discipline.
Yeah, and when you are making the choice, somebody picking up engineering, उसको क्या पता chemical में क्या है, mechanical में क्या है?
No, you see, not only that, your departments and your subjects are decided by your marks.
Ranks, yeah, because you cannot choose also.
Yeah, because आपको computer science नहीं है, लेकिन आपको मिली सिविल, आपने सिविल ले ली.
और the rank decides कि कितनी अच्छी branch है. Civil की cut off low है, अरे बेकार branch है.
Right? So you'll find a situation where civil engineers are doing software jobs because that's a job they wanted anyway. But they couldn't get into computer science. They took civil, but took a software jobs. That is complete misallocation of resources, according to me. What is it, Ashoka? You join Ashoka, you pick your subject afterwards.
Amazing.
And you study 5-6 subjects in the first 2 years. And then you pick your major. So that's what we set out to do. That build an institutional excellence. The stimulus came from the action by St. Stephen's College.
And it's such a deep customer insight that the decision is the most important thing कि कौन सा college or branch है, तो branch is the most important piece. And hardly parents को भी नहीं पता होता, बच्चे को भी नहीं पता होता.
बिल्कुल.
And sometimes हम college को ऊपर करते हैं, कभी हम branch को करते हैं. अभी सब CSAI चल रहा था, पता नहीं AI के बाद क्या होगा. When people are graduating in 2030, you don't know where you will.
Let's see. I mean, nobody really knows, but I don't think there'll be a catastrophe. But maybe that's hope. But I don't know.
Tell me one thing, Sanjeev. If we look at types of Naukris which have evolved over the last आफ्टर इंडिपेंडेंस पहले एक पूरा फेज था गवर्नमेंट जॉब्स का.
अभी भी है. Government jobs for a very large segment of India's population is still the most preferred job.
या उसके बाद PSU जॉब्स की कैटेगरी बनी जिसमें IOC, इंडियन ऑयल, नवरत्न सारे आए. माय फादर वाज फ्रॉम इंजीनियर्स इंडिया लिमिटेड तो वो उधर है. उसके बाद टाटाज एंड बिग कंग्लोमरेट्स का आया. फिर धीरे धीरे IT सेक्टर बहुत बड़ा आ गया. अब स्टार्टअप सेक्टर और न्यू एज सेक्टर आ रहा है. फिर अब GCCs आया है. So when you fast forward, where do you see this thing going?
I don't know, boss, but I'll tell you one thing. Some of the best talent in India is in the public sector operations, especially on the engineering side and the science side. So look at the आपने जिक्र किया Engineers India Limited. I'd gone there once many years ago, 30 years ago, to conduct a training program on presentation skills. And I thought those guys were really solid. What I've heard about the ISRO scientists is that they're really good. Right? So, लोग कहते हैं कि public sector सरकार is not that sharp and bright. No, I work closely with the government of India, with Startup India and others in the last 10 years. Some of the government officers are really committed and hardworking, and they're good at it. So there's some serious talent there. In the government, in the public sector. So I have full respect
Yes.
for government and PSC. Of course, private sector में तो है ही. So I don't know where it lined up.
Yeah, it's a very interesting evolution which is coming. And I think so, yeah, and you don't know where it will go in 2030. But if you think about foundationally, if somebody is sitting is a teenager, let's assume between 13 to 16, 17 में बैठा है, and 2032, 33 में आएगा. What are the fundamental things you feel they should definitely imbibe right now? 2-3 skills which you feel.
Yeah, देखो. And first of all, I would say, explore your interests and passions and develop them. So you got to love what you do. Now, around
Love what you do and do what you love.
Yeah, so if you do what you love, you will love what you do.
And I think so what you also mentioned is explore is very important, because अगर हम इतने में ही सोच रहे हैं तो हमारी visibility नहीं है.
That's true. Therefore, keep dabbling, drifting, exploring, trying out various things to figure out what you love and what you're, right? And if you love what you do and you do what you love, you will spend enough time at it. It won't seem like work. And if you spend enough time doing something, you will become excellent at it. So if you're excellent and you're doing what you love, opportunities will open up.
Yes.
Opportunities will open up. And आप वो required skills आप acquire कर लोगे. You should start the other way around. You shouldn't say, I must learn public speaking when I'm in class 4. That's rubbish. No, my son must learn public speaking when he's in class 7. No. He must be confident. No. Let him be. Let her be. They will become confident through life. So don't use a cookie cutter approach. This is the box, they should fit in it. No.
तो क्या करना चाहिए?
They make them do what they love and love what they do. If they do that, they'll become good at it and excel at it. If they excel at something,
तो excellence सिखाना जरूरी है.
excellence सिखाते नहीं है. Excel आ जाती है.
So Sanjeev, let's come to the topic of the decade or year, AI. So you must be seeing AI in different areas. I'll touch 2 aspects. And I don't know if you read, last night what happened is government of US asked Anthropic to block some models internationally. Okay. So that really brings back to the question is, how should a country like India approach AI? Because we are renting AI like we rent all the things.
देखिए, to build a foundational model, it's non-trivial. Expenses, resources, access to GPUs, the right talent, and time. It's non-trivial. और अगर आपको $20-30 billion लगाने हैं to build an LLM, Who can do it? Startups नहीं कर सकती. VC funds are too small. 10-20 साल का time horizon होगा. Okay. We don't know what will happen. Will the LLM work? Will it make money? We don't know. तो वो risk कौन ले सकता है? Who has such a large balance sheet and risk appetite? One is government. And then there are large corporate groups and there are large public sector companies.
Yes. Who have cash.
वही कर सकते हैं. The startups will do small things, minimal,
They will be on the application side. They will innovate.
See, no, we can even participate in some of the, but you cannot fund $10-20 billion,
Yes.
$30 billion. Strategically as a nation, government will say, we need our own LLMs, at least 1, 2, 3 of them.
Yes.
Now, that's a good statement of intent. The difficult part is implementation, even if you can allocate the resources. So the leadership in this has to come from the government. And the government is trying. Government has a AI mission. The MeitY is cognizant of it. The PMO is cognizant of it. The PM keeps emphasizing deep tech and AI, deep tech and AI. And that's important. We ourselves have invested 1,000 crores in the last 5-6 years across 54 deep tech and AI companies, startups.
Okay.
That's significant. Right? But it is not $30 billion or $20 billion or $10 billion or even $1 billion. Right? So one is that. Do we as a country need it? Answer is yes.
Yes.
What do we have already? We have data. We have some human talent.
Yes.
Right? We have enough startups that are trying something or the other. We have a awareness and cognizance that we've got to do AI. And yes, beyond that, we are consumers of AI developed by other people in other countries by international companies. Coming to the other question, which is always being talked about, is that will AI lead to large-scale job losses? My most honest answer is I don't know. But I take lessons from some history
Yes.
that I know of. मैं एक और कहानी सुनाऊंगा. So 87 में I joined IIM Ahmedabad. 89 I graduated. 1986 was the first year when PCs were brought into the IIMs for use by students. In that sense, we were among the first 2 batches that had graduated from the IIMs who had PCs from day one while they were there. They were shared PCs. There were 14 computers for use of, 350 students. So, but we got to use the PC as part of our courses, as part of our project work.
Yes.
So when we passed out, we were PC literate. Right? We knew spreadsheets, word processing, database, presentations, how to use a PC.
Yeah.
When I joined my next job in HMM, it was a marketing department of, say, 14-15 log. There were 3 or 4 PCs. एक PC था with the head of marketing's personal private secretary. एक PC था with the marketing manager private secretary. I think 1 or 2 were shared. The truth was I was the only person there who knew how to use it because I had done 2 years of it. Right? So I became the most indispensable guy for certain things. कि मेरा presentation कर दे, मेरे अच्छे spreadsheet कर दे, अच्छा ये कर दे, वो कर दे. Right? अगर उस समय उस डिपार्टमेंट में सैकिंग होती, I would have been the last guy to get sacked.
It became a superpower.
It became a useful thing to know and do. Right? So to the young people there, I said, don't worry if देश में job loss हो रहा है कि नहीं हो रहा है. Worry about what will happen to your job. Will you lose your job? Will you get a job? And the only way to make your job safe and secure is to learn these new skills.
Nice to adapt.
So learn 2 or 3, how to use 2 or 3 AI platforms every month, every quarter.
Yes.
By the end of the year, if you know 10 of them, आपकी नौकरी जाएगी नहीं. अगर जाएगी तो दूसरी मिलेगी. और अगर आप अभी ग्रेजुएट कर रहे हो, आपको नौकरी मिल जाएगी. Because not everybody in the organization will adapt at the same pace. And older people adapt slowly. You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
Yeah.
You're young, pick up these skills. आपको नौकरी मिल जाएगी.
Amazing. So Sanjeev, amazed to hear a lot of your stories and it's very inspiring. One last question I have for you is, हमें आपसे बड़ी इंस्पिरेशन मिल रही है. आपकी इंस्पिरेशन कहाँ से आती है? Books,
So today it is when I meet young entrepreneurs, young people in my company with fresh ideas, new ideas, full of energy, doing stuff. So I gain energy from them. I gain enthusiasm from them. Right? Early on in my career, I have no one role model.
Okay.
And you don't have to have a role model.
Yeah.
You should learn different things from different people. You should learn all the time from other people. So I have learned from my school classmates, my college classmates, my IIM classmates, my neighborhood friends, my family, my teachers, my colleagues, and my bosses and their bosses and others around me in my first job.
Amazing. So you're a student at heart.
Part of me, you got to keep, so every time I meet a new startup, I engage with that business model. I figure risk kya hai. I look at the guy and say, boss, what particular insight are you bringing here? I ask a couple of questions. He gives answers. He or she gives answers. I learn stuff.
Amazing. In fact, few days ago, when you confirmed that we'll come on the podcast, and in my previous shoot, I was telling my previous guest, he said, next shoot, I'm super excited, Sanjeev is coming. So you mentioned very interesting thing, he said कि इंडिया में ना किसी एक फाउंडर पे अगर मूवी बननी चाहिए तो संजीव पे है.
Don't think so.
Because your story is very exciting. And I said, या बुक लिखनी चाहिए. तो मैंने कहा बुक और मूवी का तो पता नहीं, उनके इतने इंटरेस्टिंग पॉडकास्ट बने हैं. He might not be coming on the primary channels, but he has very interesting podcasts which he has done, and I'm sure this episode will turn out to be
so so we keep joking inside inside my investing team that you're not a podcaster because we have frequently talked about launching our own podcast, and then we've got lazy and we got busy and we've never done it. And then I said, listen, forget about being podcasters, I'll be a podcastee. I'll go on other people's podcasts. So I'm a podcastee, I'm not a podcaster.
And thank you for accepting the invite. And you have been such a humble person and sharing a lot of stories with humility. And really, at this point, we are touching about 1 million views. Almost, we're like 15-20 हज़ार ऊपर नीचे होंगे. And it's a great moment we are shooting this and cannot wait to release it soon. So thank you very much for
Thank
coming.
you for calling me. Thanks so much.
Thank you for watching Dilse Omni podcast. We love having conversations on omni-channel growth, covering different areas of brand stories, SEO, marketing strategies, investor conversations. If you're someone very interested in omni-channel talks, do subscribe to our channel and also subscribe to our newsletter to get a PDF summary of the conversation. And if there is some interesting guest in your mind which you want to recommend, we have a form down below which you can fill in. Would love to learn more about the questions and conversations you're having in your head. Put a comment below. Would definitely answer each of them. So keep watching us. Looking forward to bringing you interesting episodes every time. Do like, share, subscribe to our channel. Thank you for all your love and comments which you keep sharing.